Hi there. On today's episode, the three of us become more and more delusional as we review Joker, Folie, Deux.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Eddie.
This is straight to POD. All right, we're going to get right into our review this week. Eddie, can you tell us about it?
Sure. Joker, Folie Deux. Struggling with his dual identity, failed comedian Arthur Fleck meets the love of his life, Harley Quinn, while incarcerated at Arkham State Hospital. This was directed by Todd Phillips, who did all the Hangover series, as well as War Dogs. That's quite a leap to psychological thriller. Main actors and actresses in this is Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, and Brandon Gleeson.
Thanks. Charlie, do you want to start us off with your spoiler-free thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say Lady Gaga.
Oh,
I think this is Lady Gaga.
okay.
Start
Well,
there. We're
let's
already
start
starting
there.
off. Someone who's been around a long time is Lady Gaga. Um, but focusing in on the movie, I think I'm just gonna start off with I think this might be maybe the biggest disappointment of the year. I don't know if we have any other one who's just kind of like who I don't want to say us
Well,
let
well,
us
well,
down,
well, the year
but
isn't
just
over yet. The
based
season,
on just yeah.
it's
Are
just
you talking
based
about
on what
like
we've done,
most anticipated movie that was a letdown? Is
Yeah.
that what you're
or
saying?
just a
Yeah, most
letdown in
anticipated movie that's
general.
a letdown. I don't no. Most anticipated that's a letdown.
Okay, okay.
I was excited for this movie since what, last year? Whenever they announced it, just because the first one was I really like the first one. It's really heavy. It's really deep, really dark. I've only seen it once. I don't think I could put myself through Joker 1 again. Um, just because coming out of the theater was just like, ooh. But I was super excited for this one. Not pretty disappointed across the board. I feel like everyone else was too, just because of the general Instagram reaction, right? We can't take it to heart, but we can kind of take it as like what people are generally feeling. There are already like memes out. There's already, Instagram reels out, like kind of making fun of this movie. And I kind of agree with with that sentiment where it was just not this wasn't a very good movie. To be honest, I wasn't expecting um some of the elements, especially I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but like the music elements of this movie. I guess I was expecting some of it, but not not the whole thing. And it's kind of where I am without kind of spoiling the rest of the movie, but not good. Not good. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, as someone who really did not like that first film, this film does nothing to improve on the characters or the world or anything. It's like it just makes it more disappointing and bad. And yeah, it doesn't help that like
That's gotta be rough, especially since you didn't like the first one.
yeah, yeah, there's a trial in this movie. I don't even know if that's spoiler, but like there's a most of this movie is a trial and it's just like recapping the first movie. So that's already like, oh, this is already bad. And then the musical stuff doesn't really add anything interesting to this. Like I know they wanted to do the original idea for Joker 2 was they want to do like a Broadway musical show instead of actual movie, but then they switched to the movie. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, even Lady Gaga, like I think I saw like she practiced to sing badly in this because like I don't know, none of the singing is very good.
Because
So
she's trained so much that she can only
yeah.
sing well. That's actually kind of cool. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, same. I don't know if it was going to be a Broadway musical and pulled out halfway through. That kind of explains this whole, I don't know, movie.
Well, I feel like the first one did so well. Like Warner Brothers was like, "Hey, here's some money to do this, whatever you want again." But then they spent too much money because I think I saw it was like $190 million to make this movie, and they didn't like
Jesus.
do any like test screenings. Like that's where like people come in to like watch it, and then you can make changes afterwards. And like they didn't do those. They just like let them go. Like I get the first one made $1 billion, but doing a like a sequel to that and making it a musical, but like I mean, I feel like the musical stuff was kind of in the trailers, not really. Like people like even the like Todd Phillips, he was like, this is not really a musical, but yeah, this is definitely 100% a musical. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of singing in this movie.
Um, I would argue that it's not a full musical because musicals are done well and with purpose, and the songs add to the plot of the musical,
That's
right? Of
true,
what you're
yeah.
watching. And this does nothing. This is just a movie
With
with some
songs.
singing
Yeah.
with songs. Um, if you compare it to any Disney movie, right, you understand that the song is an addition and moves the plot forward of the movie and
Hmm.
also kind of sets a tone. This is just different songs. Um, yeah, so the first one, like you said, did $1 billion, and that was on a 55 to $70 million budget, not 190. And I don't know if they're like, I mean, I would expect everyone's aiming for a grand slam when they make a movie, right? But this is like, hey, we made $1 billion the first time. Let's make $1 billion again. I don't know if that I don't know if that was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make another billion. Easy, you know?
I don't
I
know if
mean,
Um,
that's
that's
I
I
feel like
don't know if
that's
that's
how
what the
Warner
thought process
Brothers,
was.
I don't know, I feel like Warner Brothers was like, hey, this people love this movie. Let's just do it again. Fuck it. Even here's even more money. Lady Gaga's in it. Let's do it. Let's go.
But I feel like I think we've had a discussion before where I don't know what it is about studios where if they just want to recapture lightning in a bottle again, just do the same thing. But it seems more often than not when they're like, "Oh, we made 1 billion off of this. For the sequel, we're going to completely change what we did, even though what worked the first time we should be using." Like this isn't like I feel like this sequel is not so much as a sequel as, you know, they're like, well, the first one did well. Let's do it again. They didn't do it again. This is a completely different movie. Same characters, same main character, but this is a completely different movie than the first one. Like this, I'm bold enough to say that it's not even the same movie. Like it's not even the same continuation of a movie. I feel like this is you could watch this one by itself, not needing to watch the first one at all.
Hmm. I
that's
It gives
disagree.
you
interesting.
it gives you enough context. It provides you all the highlights of the first one, and the ambiguous nature of the end of the movie is thrown out the window from the first one because we have a second one, and this is what you have. So you could I mean, as at least that from my perspective, as rude as it sounds, you could throw away the first one entirely and just use this one as both the first and the second one because the way they went about it, how they went about it, and even some of the marketing for this was not at all what the public was expecting, and I think it's reflecting on not all, right? Because some people did enjoy it, but for I guess the fans that thought this was going to be a continuation of the first one, and their outcry of it's not, it's not that. But I mean,
Well, that's an interest. I mean, I can see your point, but I guess the question still stands. I mean, what are your
my
thoughts on this
spoiler-free
movie?
thoughts. Spoiler. The Chris,
Yeah,
I
because it's like, is it still a good movie if you take it by itself?
Is it a good movie if I take it by itself? See, that's the
Yeah.
thing. If I were to take this, like if this would have been for some reason the original, like the first one, the only thing that we know in our universe that came out, it was just Joker, Folie, a do that we didn't have the first one. This would it. I feel like it would be fine because we would have no pretense for what it was. Somebody tried to make something different, and you know, also incorporating the events that happened in the first one without having like per se a recap per se, but just incorporating that as it's happening. I think yes, I think it would be fine because we would have no. I guess my I guess shtick here is that we have something to compare it to, and we know what that film was and why it was praised, and you know why it was good and so on and so forth. So to have this come out later is just like ugh, it's like okay, we had a shot, and that's not just for this particular movie. Going back to Chris's point, it's like Warner Brothers executives were just like, yes, we made $1 billion, so we're gonna do it again. But whoever they put in charge of it was like, what people really want? A musical. Let's make it into a musical for some reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it felt so out of nowhere. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, Wicked is coming out. And it's like maybe we need to put musicals. I don't know. It's just the whole musical aspect for me just came just out of left field. So I'm just like, okay, I'm really trying to understand the thought process for that because I mean, there was what two at most musical numbers in the first one, but it was part of the what's real, what's not type thing. But this is incorporated into the movie. It's making it move forward as a movie. So I'm like, okay, I need to pay attention to as much as to the musical numbers as much as I need to pay attention to everything else. It's not like Into the Woods or whatever or Les Mis or whatever. Um, so I don't know what they were going for. So I'm stuck in the middle between you know props for thinking outside the box and making it trying to make stay fresh and do whatever, and at the same time because I have something to compare it to. I mean, I'm not saying it should be the same, but I'm just saying because we have something compared to that, just in general, right? Part twos and follow up movies just so have so much expectation, and it's like, can we really fill that expectation? No, but we also don't want a complete flop. And I don't know how Chris, how's this doing numbers wise?
Terribly.
Oh shit. Okay.
Um, I seen this list some. Firstly, cinema score as a D
Okay.
cinema score, and that is people who come out of the movie and like what their thoughts on it. So like opening night, people coming out of the theater like that, and that is the lowest comic book cinema score in history. So that just shows like people did not like this movie. Even like Rotten Tomatoes, like viewers score and critic scores are usually pretty opposite from each other, but these are pretty aligned. And I think it made worldwide like 120 million with yeah, with like and it like total, I think like to break even, I saw it needs to make 450 million or something like that. So it's doing pretty bad, and word of mouth is not going to help this movie. So
Do you think the word of mouth is what's preventing
I
like
mean,
it
Well, word
if
of
from
mouth.
people
other
if people
people?
were going to see it, they would have saw it opening weekend, you know?
Well, that's what I mean. Like I don't know how far in advance you could buy tickets and then say, you know what, I don't want to go after not purchasing the ticket or after purchasing the ticket. So are they, I mean, for the most part, are people really waiting for the weekend box office reviews to determine whether or not they want to go see this? Or what or in actuality was there just not a actual hype for this part two of a movie? You get what I'm asking?
Hmm. I don't know, like we said, that first one did like so well, and I guess people didn't want to come back after like 5 years to for another one, or like they were just tired of comic book movies kind of thing,
Well,
or
I'm
they
also
they saw it
I'm
that's musical. I don't know.
I mean the musical aspect, to tell you the truth, I didn't even know. Like I really didn't see, at least from my like marketing and my go see Joker. I didn't
Hmm.
know that's what that was. That's what it was. I don't even think I ever heard it of anybody saying like, oh, it's gonna be a musical. I was like, I'm okay. Um,
I don't think anyone expected it. There were musical elements in the trailer.
but is it okay?
Um,
I
but
mean,
that
that's
was about it. But I thought it was gonna be just that. Like whatever you see in the trailer is gonna be in the movie, right? It's gonna be one or two scenes max, not the
like
whole
the whole
movie.
story. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm thinking this might be the first. So like Gladiator 2 is coming out, right? And I don't know why, but I have a feeling that it's going to be like this, where it's like Gladiator did well. This was, I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that. Great. Let's go ahead and, you know, try to cash in or whatever, and let's make a sequel. Instead of keeping those elements the same of like whatever it was, I don't know. I feel like they're just going to try to do something out of the box or something like this. Like, because even the trailers are like, okay, so much CGI. Why is there so much CGI in this movie? But I don't know if the lack, you know what I'm saying? Like going back to my original point, I don't know if it's the lack of actual audience wanting to go see a part two of Joker, or if it's, hey, the first weekend box numbers came out and people who went to go see it, and now we have other people who said they wanted to go see it, right? And they're like, don't go see it. Like, for example, my sister was like, I really want to go see this one. And I was like, yeah, because the first one was so great. And then she's like, did you go see it already? I was like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend you go see it. So she's like, okay, I'm not gonna go see it. I'm gonna wait until it comes out so I can see it at home, type of deal.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering
Yeah,
how
I feel like
much of
that's
that,
yeah, that's generally I feel like everybody. I
but I'm
told two
wondering how
people
much
that
of
don't.
that, yeah, but how much of that is actually influencing people not going to this, or actually like, like the actual audience. So all the people that went to go see the first Joker probably weren't also Joker fans. They probably went to go see it, right? Because they were like, "Go, you gotta go see this movie." And they're like, "All right, cool." But that I don't know if it's a large or small percentage of those people were like, Joker 2's coming out. It's like, all right. They were indifferent about going anyway, you know. Like how much a percentages of the people that were indifferent of going anyway versus the amount of people who overheard just, the negative reviews and people telling them not to go, that is influencing them not to go. Um
About
I-
$880 million worth.
$1 billion worth of people. Okay, all right.
I mean,
Well,
the
that's
numbers
that's
is
fair.
still that, right?
I mean, no, no, I mean that's a fair
Because
point, and I guess
people who go see they're the set of people that go intentionally go see the movie to watch the movie, uh, watch movies no matter what. I mean, we do it because, well, number one, podcast, number two, or like we watch movies. Um, and to completion, right? To completion, because there's also the set of people that like, I don't know about you, but two people left my theater. Like
Yeah.
not my
Uh,
theater, but like the two people next to us got up and left and were like, we're done. I'm done with
four
this.
people left my theater at like the last musical part. Four people left. They're like they
Jeez.
had
Yeah.
Okay.
enough.
Yeah. They were just
Okay.
done. So, and it's just a cascading effect of you leave a I mean the same thing with your sister, right? If you leave a movie, you tell her yes, go watch it, or you tell her no, don't go watch it, right?
It's
And
gonna
that just
influence. Yeah. Yeah.
imagine that times like 1,000, a million, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Also, this film is almost like 2.5 hours long. So this is a long movie. So I guess
yeah,
that could also be like why people like maybe wait for reviews or something, like just to
yeah.
see.
I feel like most people wait for reviews. I feel like that's just like the kind of
The
world
thing to
we
do
live
now.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So just, I guess, just based on discussion, I don't know, uh, spoiler free, was section. Sorry, I blanked on the word I was looking for. Uh, I guess I would say we'll continue to explore because there's some. I mean, there's questions that we could get answer and get into. I think the
Mhm.
major part for all of us would probably be the ending. Maybe at least for me, it is. But I think just once we get into discussion and get to final ratings, I'll be able to get a clear picture. Because right now, I don't. It's not like it's not the worst thing in the world as some people are making it out to be. It's not like I because
I
you get
think
you
yeah.
get
There's
people
a
who's
couple
like,
of things.
this is the worst piece of
Yeah.
crap. I was like, all right, it's not the worst piece of crap. Like, have you seen like other movies? Like, there's really worse. You know, like I'm just saying, what like I can't even think of it. Just like, have you seen The Son of the Mask? That's a crappy ass movie that got production said yes 1,000 times, and there's an actual movie out there as voted the worst movie. Like, there's crap out there. This isn't. I don't think this would fall into that. I just think it's just if we if as an audience member we were presented with a little bit more of a forefront because I don't know. I don't know if again, I don't know if it's just my perspective. Feels like it's been some bait and switch where like, you know, when Mean Girls came out and they're like, the opening weekend is like, it's not based on that. It's based on the musical of that. That's why they're singing. It's like, well, you didn't advertise it as that. You
Well,
didn't
that movie did
advertise
well,
it.
like super well
Yeah,
actually.
because the opening weekend, the people like after it was the after effect where it was like people were like, oh, it's based on the musical and not the actual sort. Like it was after the fact that people started like raising, not bitching, but they were just like, oh, we thought we were coming in and started thinking, and there was like a bunch of TikToks of like, why are you singing and so on and so forth. So I felt like it was an after effect. But even things
So
with like
the lesson to learn here is if you want to make a musical, make it cheap and not almost $200 million.
Well, 400 million if you
Well,
consider
yeah,
marketing.
total, yeah.
it's because yeah. Well, but even other movies, right? Like me and Charlie went to go see My Old Ass. Like Audrey Plaza was advertised as coming out, and this is going to be like a time traveler wife type movie. It's not what that was at all. This was not marketed as such, and Audrey Plaza was in it like 5 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like before, like maybe in the 2010s, people were all like, the trailers give all the movie away. Why would I go watch the movie? They already gave it all away. And then somewhere along the lines, the marketing teams of movie studios were like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give like out of context stuff and just show like a little snippet here and then make a story based off of like different pictures. And then when you go see it, it has nothing to do with that, right? Madam Web was a major one of that. Where it was like, we're gonna see Spider Women and we're gonna see all this stuff, and then it was just not that at all.
Well, I mean,
It
they
was
show literally all the scenes that Spider-Man women were in the trailer.
And then yeah, it's okay.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But that made it seem
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna see Spider. Oh hell yeah, we're gonna see like Spider Gwen, and we're gonna see these variations and stuff. And then we get there, it's like it was a dream. It was a like a future dream sequence that we're getting. Like it took longer for production and actresses to get into costumes, makeup, film this thing than the actual like scene in the movie that's like 3 minutes long of a few. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know where I don't. I guess I don't know where the correct footing is here. But I don't want it. I don't. I feel like if they would have just been honest, more honest and more upfront of like, hey, we're going in a different direction. We're going to be, doing this, and you have to understand that, you have to put a different lens on. It's a very different film from the first one. The second one is very much has, little things from the first one, but it's very, very much different. And you need to be able to understand that and let go of what you know and just put your, start frames or, doing whatever they do their magic. I think it would have been a little bit more well received. But I just think that to some degree there's a level of I don't know, the audience feels like they were lied to, or the audience feels like, I don't know, not taken advantage of, but just like, like how dare you, or type shit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's
I don't know.
discuss. Let's
If
discuss.
you hire Lady Gaga as your second lead, there's gonna be singing in the movie.
I mean, that's fair, but like, as like A Star Is Born, was that a musical?
No.
No.
But Lady Gaga was hired to sing and was hired to
Yeah.
be an actress. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm not trying to like, you know,
Well, that
it's
character
just I feel like
sings.
it's a very it's a very well, I feel like there was gonna be singing, and I feel like I thought the aspect of Lady Gaga being part of it was because she was who she was. Like, Poker Face came out and she was like, all her music, what she was. She was very daring. She was very out there in her real life. Her performance is like we all remember her VMA performances, right? Where she was like, covered in a red, whatever, or covered in like meat suit or whatever. She was
Hmm.
very provocative. She was very out there. So it made sense to, you know, cast someone who is like that in real life to play a character who is just as psychologically, perceived as psychologically insane or out there. So that's what I thought.
See,
That's why
I would disagree
okay.
just because I mean, you should just get into spoilers.
Yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, yeah.
Spoilers
We're
for
just getting
Joker,
spoilers. Joker.
DC in general,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
whatever. We
Joker
don't give a shit.
All
DC
right,
We don't
Justice
give a
so
shit.
League.
Well, I feel like I feel like, yeah, we should just discuss what we want to discuss.
yeah, just instead of like yeah, like stepping around it. So yeah, I don't think any of these characters are really the character like from the comics. Even even Todd Phillips says like Lady Gaga is in Lady Gaga's character is inspired by Harley Quinn. Joker, Arthur Fleck, he's not really Joker. He's people perceive like thought he was Joker, but he's not actually Joker. And the ending pretty much confirms that at the end. So I don't really feel like any of these characters are
So
actually represent that character.
t- two things. Then who is the well, spoiler alert, the guy that killed him?
A spoiler.
We're already in spoilers. And yes, that is I assume Joker because did you see he cut his mouth open? Like
He did cut
that's
his mouth open.
that's I
Is
hate
that the
that so
actual
much.
Joker?
I assume that's gonna
Like,
be
and Todd Phillips says, uh, who's that? Arthur Fleck was never the Joker. He's always been Arthur Fleck. Did he say that after or before the movie reviews came out?
I don't
That's
know.
also the
There was
other
an
thought I
interview
have.
in there, so
Yeah. Um,
I mean, I agree with him. I don't think he's a Joker. He doesn't seem Joker at all. Just because he wears clown makeup and kills people, that's not the. There's more Joker than that. Is Pennywise the Joker as well then? Like, come on.
Not
Arthur's not
Pennywise.
Joker.
Silly.
No, I just
Uh,
well, see, here's the
I
thing.
don't
yeah, but it's
see.
still,
Yeah,
but
but here's
you,
the thing. For
I mean,
you
he
can't
set it up in a
call
way where you're like, this guy is Joker. And then
no.
the second movie comes out, and then the reviews come out, and then Todd Phillips is like, well, obviously he's not Joker, he's just Joker-esque
The movie
for
literally
his fun.
says he's not Joker. It's not even the interview. The movie actually says it.
The movie, okay, well that
What are you talking
same
about? The
difference. I
courtroom
mean,
scene.
same
It's
difference. I'm
literally
still mad. Then it's like, who is the Joker? Why the hell are we
Well,
watching
well,
this
that's
movie?
that's a
What the hell
exactly.
do I care
director's.
about Arthur Fleck?
Yeah, but
Why would the
that's a
Joker need to be
director's.
inspired by a non-Joker? It's just it doesn't make sense to me because
Well, the thing is like
um
that's a director's choice to right to go in that direction. In as a movie as he's putting the movie together, right? But to Chris's point, you can't have you can't have a protagonist with a title name of the protagonist and then come out and say he is not the protagonist. That's the problem. You can't call a movie Joker, have the entire movie about an individual and not call him Joker. That's where I feel like that you just that's not fair. Like you can't move the goalposts because the title of the movie and the por- and the portrayal of the main character of the protagonist should be hand in hand. You know, it's like you can't make a movie called The Last Samurai and there's no, it's not a little, it's not a samurai. You can't last Mexican, no Mexican. Like you can't. That's not. I don't think that's fair. I don't think you can't. You could retroactively go back and be like, well, he was never the Joker. Yet you have an entire $1 billion movie called Joker, where you literally get to see the psychological problems that a protagonist has, and then at the end of the movie, colors his face and does all this stuff to be right to be emblematic of what we know as an audience as Joker. And then only once the second one comes out, I was like, well, he wasn't actually the Joker. I was like, okay, well, can you see where there might be some issues there? Because granted, we could say it's not the Joker from the comics, but we can't say it's not Joker, period. Like you
I will
can't.
say that. He's not
You know
Joker.
what I'm saying? Like you can't.
I
You,
don't think clown makeup makes Joker Joker. Just calling him, I don't think I get that it's named the film, but it feels
well, it's
that
not even
film,
about the name of the film. He runs into Batman. There, the DA is called Harvey Dent. His love
yeah,
interest
but
is the name. Like
having the
you can't
names in
have.
there, but it's like but like he doesn't care, but also he scars Harvey Dent's face like at the end. So it's like and he also the other Joker character that kills Arthur, like he cuts his face at the end.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, no, no, no,
he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
give a shit, but also he puts these things in there for some reason. Like
yeah.
you can't
No,
have
my
it both
point is that
ways.
yeah, well, yeah. So it's like my point is just trying to say like you can't like you could be like it's not from the you could be we've learned this through Marvel where it's like that's not how they did it in the comics. It's like yeah, I understand. It's its own story, but they didn't completely say that Iron Man wasn't Iron Man. He's still Iron Man. He's just Iron Man in a different story being told. Like you can't present us with somebody implying that he's that person with context proper context around us and then say he's not that person. Like I just don't agree with that. You can't set up a whole two movies and then be like he's not actually the person you thought he was. Even in an artistic sense. Like it's like, ooh, it was a mind game the entire time. I can't do that. I can't buy that as an
I
audience
honestly
member.
like I haven't looked up like the first movie how that was made, but I wonder if this was just a a Walking Phoenix like movie where he has this mental illness, and like it wasn't about, he wasn't the Joker the whole, and then like Warner Brothers saw it
Right.
and it's like, do you want to make this more money? It's like, we'll fund this if you put Joker name on it, you know? Like I
Right.
wonder if it was that.
So, but
But I
to
can't
that,
say for sure.
no, no, no. But to that point, Chris, that's where I was going with the second one. To
Hmm.
counter Charlie's point is that yes, I can see the argument where Joker is a symbol of like he wasn't Joker. This is what a Joker, uh, you know, individual would go through or like would use as a stepping stone towards it. So the Joker is just someone who's, I don't want to say psychotic, but that has mental problems, who's somewhat a well-footing individual who knows what's going on, who understands because the first one was like, had overarching societal, takes, and that's why people liked it. It was like, you don't understand, and it got very real very quickly. Um, but and then to say, Joaquin Phoenix's character isn't Joker in that is like, yes, because this is what Joker would say. This is what Joker would bring to the table, right? Calling back to R.I.P. Heath Ledger's, you know, Joker, where he was like, "Do you kill all the prisoners in the boat, or do you kill all the innocent people on the other boat?" Like bringing that reality, that that sinister, dark, perspective of how he views the world and how the rest of the people should view the world. That was brought on the first Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and
I
yes,
don't, I
he.
don't agree with that, but we can move on.
What do you mean?
I don't think he was scheming or he had any like takes on the world. I don't know. I never felt like Walking Phoenix Joker ever was that type of character.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the my train of thought was that to put, Todd Phillips as like he's not Joker,
Hmm.
to put it in proper context of like, yes, anybody can be Joker. And at the final scene, when the next, when the guy stabs him and he cuts his face, he's like, yes, that is the next rendition of like Joker is an ever evolving. It's not a one individual. It's a mask that anybody takes upon themselves as the next Joker, as the next person who's going to, you know, cause chaos and have followers and do ridiculous and outlandish things, um, because it's a constant evolving thing. It's not one individual. It's a overarching idea or philosophy that an individual puts upon themselves, and it's the new leader or whatever. Because I don't
That's what
I
you
don't
got
even
out
know.
of it?
No,
Is
I'm
that what you got
saying
out of
I'm
it, or is that what you're saying that might be an
I'm saying the
interpretation?
the other side of the, when Todd Phillips and everybody's like, saying these things, where it's like, well, he wasn't the Joker, but everybody's interpretation of that final scene is automatic to be like, he wasn't the Joker, so that means the next guy's a Joker. I'm like, if you're saying that the individual wasn't the Joker and we're taking that on face value, then everything that leads up to, if there's a continuation of this particular franchise or whatever it is, leads me to believe that, yeah, there isn't one individual who would wear this mantle. This person wore the mantle, and as you could clearly see, he didn't want it anymore by the end of this movie. At the end of this movie, he clearly wasn't that entity. He wasn't that representation of what the Joker is or was, which is what everybody who didn't like this movie was like, this isn't like, he didn't own it. He was like, but that was the point. You saw throughout the entire court series, his change in demeanor, his change of like, holy crap, like even towards the end, he's finally like, yeah, like I did those things. I did those things. Like there isn't another identity. There isn't two different personalities. I'm like, I did it. Arthur Fleck did this, and I was wrong for doing such. By the end of the movie, he's not. he's not trying to be a leader of a cult. He's not trying to do Joker things. So by in instance killing that in the courtroom and then by the end of the movie killing off the character, yes, he's not Joker. He never was. He was
Hmm.
playing an idea. He was playing a symbol of what people in the movie universe resonated with and were like, yeah, Joe, you know what I'm saying? Because he had followers. People were in the courtroom. It was like, yeah, but by the end of it, he had nobody, right? Harley
I would
Quinn,
say even like
whatever,
outside
left.
of the movie, like people who took up the first movie as like some kind of beacon for them in a
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's why, like, coming full circle, I could see the other, like, I could see, I guess, the artistic idea, if that's in reality what they were going for. Yes, I could definitely see it because everything in the movie does that. And again, I wouldn't necessarily say the musical aspect led to it, but if you actually, like, if you could replay the entire movie on a non-musical way and just see the progression of the movie from what Arthur Fleck was at the beginning, continuing from the last movie, the transitional period in the middle where he's like, okay, I'm getting, I am actually going and getting the human aspects of what the first movie was, right, understood or implied to be a fantasy, but I am now reality living this to the end of the movie where it's like, well, I've gotten what it is. Maybe I could somehow still capture that, but I don't have to. I'm tired of being this. I don't want to continue to be the individual. I don't want to continue to like kill people. I don't want to continue to do any of this because that's not who I am. I had to be that to be able to survive, but I'm not that. And by the end of the movie, when he's like, I'm not that, everybody's like, well, you were supposed to be this. Why aren't you this? He's like, I don't want to. I can't. But if you notice, the individuals who save him and the individuals who are still following him are not in the courtroom. They're just outside members, right? Despite the fact that it was televised, it was just people who didn't realize or weren't paying attention to his transformation of him not being that anymore. So when he runs and he has that final conversation with Lady Gaga, that's just like, okay, the reality setting in is all like, nobody, the sad part of the first movie is like, nobody likes me, nobody loves me. They love the idea of what I was. They love the idea of what I represented. So he finally, I mean, by the end of the movie, he's grounded in reality. He's sad. He's by himself. He's in jail. So that Joker's dead, and metaphorically, and then actually dead. In reality, because
Hmm.
the guy stabs him up. But if I re- if I don't remember if I recall correctly, but the guy who stabs him, wasn't that the guy who like admired him?
Yeah, that guy was killed by the guards.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, that's what made him
okay.
give up in the first place.
Oh, okay. So the,
Hmm.
the guards killed
Yeah,
the the guy he kissed, right?
Yeah, they killed him.
yeah.
Okay. I thought it was the guy. Well, so, and that's another thing is that by the end of the movie, I guess, again, I really don't know, but it's just like, I guess anybody and whoever and whatever could happen. Like this guy just straight up comes up to him and be like, I don't know. I guess he made an impression on him so much to the fact that he was just like, "You're no longer this, so I'm gonna be this, or I need somebody to continue." Like, I don't. It's so twisted and weird if that's really what they were going for. Because this isn't. This was just a random guy, right? According to the movie, I don't remember seeing him. I don't remember. I thought it was the guy he kissed, but I guess he killed him. I was hoping for retribution to the guards. I mean, if the guards killed these people and the guards were beating the crap out of him and doing all of this, they never get any retribution in this
They
movie.
literally sexually assaulted him in the shower. Like,
I
why did
mean,
I even need to be in this movie? That
that
was,
was,
yeah.
but there's never any retribution there. And as a
No,
moviegoer, I was hoping for some of that. But again, if it's just that's not, I guess, reality of the situation. I don't know. And for the simple fact that if I could try to break down and interpret all these things, and somebody else who's watching it may have somewhat of a similar mindset. Again, I could see some of the people liking it, not necessarily for this specific reason, but for being able to get something out of the movie that we didn't get, or that wasn't, that was or wasn't intended for it to be. And the side of me that doesn't want to completely dismiss the movie would want to be like, yes, I'm really smart. I get this movie. You know, I could watch Rick and Morty because I'm smart. I
That's a
get it. I
that's a
get it.
stretch though.
I know.
What
And
is
but on the
like
others,
it
the
took you
other side,
like how long have we it's like that was like a 20-minute explanation as to like it is Joker, but it's not Joker because Joker
well,
is not Joker. Right? Like and I don't want to like minimize your explanation at all because I
no,
could
no, no,
definitely
please. No,
see your
I
point.
mean,
I could
go with
definitely
it.
see your points and everything else. The only part I have a problem with is okay, if we just take it like Joker is not a person, right? That was like born, raised, grew up and now like does, crime or whatever. But rather an idea that lives throughout different people at different times in their lives, right? It was Arthur Fleck. He did commit crimes. He was Joker for that period between like his first murder all the way up to uh the what's his name? Murray's murder on like live TV. Is it Murray?
Yeah, I think so.
Whatever
Yeah.
his name is. Yeah, whatever his name is. Right. And then that's when that ended. Trial happened. Um, and then it kind of faded away, but then it was just like the idea was just swirling around that this other prisoner was like, all right, if you're not gonna be it, I'm gonna be it. And now like he's taking up the mantle. Like, now I'm gonna start murdering and not murdering, but like do whatever is necessary to like just to be the Joker, right? And I feel like everyone else outside the courtroom may like the idea, flock into the idea, but no one is actually like minus the person who like who planted the car bomb, nobody else is really taking Antoll. I mean, I could see that. I can see that, but it's just like that's like what is that? Like 3 levels, 4 levels of thinking. It's just like it's far away from me because um the main problem I have with this is like who's the Joker, who's not the Joker. If you're gonna make a movie about this guy and call it a Joker, like you said in the beginning, like everyone's expecting Joker, and then you just come out and say like it's not actually Joker. Then what the hell are we doing? Right? Like if the other guy was Joker, if the other prisoner who actually stabbed Arthur and then um cut himself on the
Face.
face, right? Or cut his face open. All right, make a movie about that guy. I don't care about Arthur
We
Fleck
made that
anymore.
movie.
Like
It's called The Dark Knight.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I
yeah,
immediately thought at the end of
yeah,
that
so it
movie as
was
well.
just yeah. So it was just like um that's like it just makes me not more. And then number two, the second thing about basically everything you've said is like Joker is like what? Number one on the villain list? Like, can you think of someone else more iconic, more villainous, more like kind of brought up over and over again, more um just 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 I don't want to say famous, infamous, uh just comic book wise, right? Like why would you use the Joker's name like that just to not have a Joker movie? Or just not to just have the protagonist not be the person you're expecting, I
This,
guess,
this is
is
how
my
I
other thing.
felt since the first Joker. So
You
welcome on board.
know you know what I mean? Like it's just like everyone from what was his name? It's not Robert De Niro. Is it Robert De Niro? Jack Nicholson.
Hmm.
Everyone from Jack Nicholson to the guy from the 70s, I don't know his name, sorry. Um Mark Hamill doing the 90s um Batman,
Heath Ledger,
voice.
Jared
Yeah,
Leto.
Heath Ledger. Um, I don't want to count Jared Leto, but like
He's
I
more
don't know, they kind
Joker
of left
than
out.
this Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And then just like everything from like the Batman, the 2000s one,
Hmm.
it was kind of like the blue and black Batman. Like that Joker was completely left field, but he was still just as heinous. I still remember being freaked out as a kid, like whenever he used like the laughing gas on people, and like it was just I'm still scared of the animation because it was just like huge grins that like don't let you breathe,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And then you just suffocate in place, and that was like the trademark. And then I think all of those, I don't think there's like ever a background given. Then finally you have this like, here's the background and here's the slow demise and here's a dark, deep, dark movie, and like, like here's a movie that's not gonna make you feel good at the end. This is not, family friendly. This is terrible, 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 more terrible, terrible. And then like the movie ends and you just come out of Joker 1 feeling some type of way. And then Joker 2 just kind of like throws all that out the window. Right. So um it was, I don't know, it just makes me think it's just kind of a maybe it was a movie about just a dude who like has this slow mental breakdown, and then they just put Joker on top of it. Um, or maybe, it could have been called something else.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Walking Phoenix movie without Joker probably won't sell as much, you know. It won't make $1 billion.
That's true. I mean, it could have made $1 billion. I don't know what other title it would have.
Clown
Clown
guy.
guy.
I like how you both came up with that at the
Yeah.
same time.
It was right there, you know. So easy.
So easy. Killer clowns from the
Brooklyn or wherever he
Bronx.
lives.
From
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
uh, um, so yeah. So I don't want to diminish your view, Eddie, but it seems like a stretch. Or I don't want to like shit on your ideas, but it does seem like a bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. No, no, no. I mean that's fair.
yeah.
Like again, I don't know how many like you said, I don't know how many, I don't want to say hoops, but it's just levels of like right? Because I'm looking at it now that I've had some time to digest what I saw, and to be fair, I mean, I don't know if the musical number was important, but I slept through one of the musical numbers. I can't even remember call because I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on now, and then whatever. But I just I don't know. Again, this wasn't necessarily one of the issues I had with the movies. It's just I'm trying. I guess, and again, yeah, I guess I wouldn't call it reaching, but I'm not necessarily trying hard to get to that. Whatever. I'm just trying to use the information that the people who created this movie are saying, and then using that, you know, now that I've had time to digest, to retroactively provide, you know, trying to match up what they're saying with what I saw. And I mean, I don't see another way of doing it, right? These films are supposed to be artistic. They're supposed to be like layers or whatever, psychological or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool, yeah. It's not a movie of like, this isn't an Inception movie where I was like, is he or isn't he at the end of the movie? It's more so like, I don't know. I can't even give an example of what I assume this movie is to be. Like,
I don't think it's that deep.
yeah, right.
I
But
mean, he
if
made
they're
the
saying
Hangover movies. I don't
that
know if
deep,
he's
yeah, that's what I mean. Like and that's another thing is that
not to like, yeah, like,
exactly not to take
like
away from Todd
people
Phillips.
can, yeah, people can make a bunch of different movies, you know, like, and they can make good stuff too. Not the same. Like, I just don't think it's that deep, honestly.
And you know you could be right. It could be not that. For all I know, right? They could be like, "Hey man, did you listen to this one guy? We'll go with that interpretation." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know,
Yeah.
the artists and the individuals that are, they only know what they want, us to portray. And if that's not what we got, then that's not what we got. I don't think that this film was necessarily a cash grab, but I also don't think that the people who were involved wanted to wanted to follow up the first one to any degree. I think they wanted it to just be its own thing. Like I don't think they wanted, they just wanted. It also, again, it also just feels like Joaquin Phoenix had a contract that they needed to come out, and they're like, well, we don't have any original
Uh,
movies.
they didn't.
Okay,
They were only contracted for the first movie,
okay.
and they decided to come back after Joaquin Phoenix had a dream about what the film would be.
Oh my God. Okay,
So
okay. Well, okay. I can't even defend myself at this point. Okay. Well, there you have it.
no, like
my thing.
I definitely agree. Like this is like the first movie made a lot of money, so they're like, why not come back and do something else? And it just doesn't really work. Like like we said, like musical, like the song should like actually be in the movie and be useful to the plot. Or I think there's only like one song that was kind of like that, like the one like right after he meets Lee
Yeah.
and he's like
Yeah.
singing like in his head. Like I feel like
Mm.
that's that one kind of, but none of the other ones. Those they're just like him singing or like Harley Quinn singing and not really like progressing the plot.
Well, also it's like I don't know. There was musical aspects in the first one, so they like I don't know, they made a musical in the second one. But we had that problem too. Beetlejuice had a musical number, but then they threw
Hmm.
in just ballads in there. They threw in just whole song. I was like, what? Why? What's this obsession with putting like musical numbers? Not necessarily making a musical, but just musical numbers into these. You don't need these. You don't need to. It doesn't help with the runtime. It doesn't do anything in the movie. I don't know. I was just confused.
Yeah, the whole like musical thing, like just in general for movies, is just it's so weird. Like we were saying, Mean Girls, even Wicked, like we know that's
Yeah.
going to be musical, but none of the
Mm-hmm.
trailers have shown any music in it. Like
No,
I get like
there's
they're
hints of music.
afraid, but
There's hints of
it's
music.
so it's like you can't like I don't know. I'm curious to see how that does. Like I know the book and play are popular, but the
But
fact
these
that
are
they haven't shown
musicals.
any
Yeah.
singing in it might not bode well. I don't know. Plus that
Yeah.
Well,
movie
Ariana's in
is
it, so I
yeah.
expect there to
Yeah,
be
but so
singing.
isn't the witch she's not Jordan Sparks. What's her name? She's also a singer, isn't she?
I think so. I mean, I expect her to be.
Yeah, I assume everyone is gonna sing.
Except for um Jeff Goldblum.
Ooh, he better sing.
You think he's gonna sing?
Cynthia
Yeah,
Erivo.
I thought she was a singer or some kind of like artist. Um but
She's an
yeah,
actress
you're
and
right.
singer.
Oh yeah,
You're
she was
right,
in Bad
Chris.
Times and she sung in that one.
Yeah. But I think you're right. Chris, there wasn't for it knowingly as being a musical and everything, there was very not advertised as such, which makes me even wonder if this movie is going to be a musical or if it's going to have music in it.
It has to, right? Like
I mean, based
that'd
on
be
this
so
info,
weird.
but I'm just saying, like, based on what we've reviewed so far and what's going on in Hollywood, it's so like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make a musical, but we're gonna change it. We're gonna take away the music aspect and just give you the movie. It's like, okay, okay. So people who want to go see a musical are not gonna go see a musical, and people who don't want to see a musical are gonna go see a musical. Like I am very prone to believe that that might actually be an actual, an actual, like twist or like spin that executives are like, yeah, yeah, it'd be cool. give them a musical that they weren't expecting, and then not give them a musical that they were expecting.
I
Um,
feel like that's just kind of the Joker too as well. Like it's a movie for no one really. Like the fans of the first movie didn't like it, are not gonna like it just because he's not the Joker actually. And then the people who already didn't like the first one aren't gonna like it. So like who is this movie for kind of thing, you know? I don't know.
for the musical fans.
The music's not even that good though, like the singing parts.
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah, no, I didn't like it.
no, because
Um,
in any musical, I could like
I didn't like it. Sorry.
even Disney films, right, are not considered musicals. They're considered just children movies.
Hmm.
But even in those, right, even if it was a movie I didn't like Wish would be an example.
100%.
There's still a banger in there where I'm just like, yeah, I would listen to there's still a takeaway, right? There's still like, that
Hmm.
song was catchy or whatever. Like I said the same thing for Encanto. I didn't necessarily like it, but I was like, you know what? They got some pretty good, catchy jingles in there, because it's like a good sing along, right? But I can't even say that about this film. Like none of the songs were catchy or made me, you know, think that deeply or
I feel like if
just
they
like
wanted to go like full musical route, or at least they should just make original songs. I don't know. Them
that
singing
too.
just
That
random
too.
songs, it
Yeah, that too.
doesn't help play into it either. Like, why would I listen to Walking Phoenix or Lady Gaga singing this instead of the original song? You know, like
Yeah.
there's nothing
I don't know.
there.
I don't know. The major
I could
the
have done away.
major
I could have done away with all the music. And then I think the biggest disappointment, and like, yeah, we can take it as a standalone movie because you have all the background from the first one and this one, but the one that the things that made the first one great, I feel like none of those elements were in this movie. And, um, and it didn't have to be an exact carbon copy of the first one, but just take the general themes of it and then just I mean, I guess it's easier said than done. Just make a Joker too, right? Like just make um where it was both the kind of spiraling, not only of the continued spiral of Arthur Fleck, but also the spiraling of Lee Quinzel or Harley or whatever her name is. And then it's just a huge, right, big old um insane spiral that could have been good because the one when I was watching this movie, once the bomb went off in the court, I was like, okay, finally, we're gonna get somewhere. And then where do we
Like
go? We
2 hours into the
straight
movie,
back to
finally.
jail. Yeah. That's what I was waiting for. I wasn't waiting for the bomb because I didn't know the bomb was coming, but I was waiting for like, all right, cool. He's free. And then he has like a bunch of supporters and like whatever else, right? And now we're gonna carry him up to the mantle to become the full realized Joker that we all know, and that just did not happen, right? What happened is that went back to jail and then we died.
See,
Um,
I thought he was done with Joker. Like him saying to the like his closing statement of the trial was like, actually, I just killed all these people. It was me the whole time. Like that is me feeling like he's giving up on the Joker thing. And like even like when he goes to meet Lee at the end after escaping, he's like, "Oh, we're free now. I'm free of this Joker thing and I'm free of jail. Now we can like live our lives in
yeah,
my shitty apartment. Why did you move here? It
yeah,
sucks." It's like, "Yeah,
yeah.
this is where my I killed my mom. I moved right next door." It's like, "Why'd you move there?"
You want to live there, like on purpose? Um,
Yeah, even he says like this is messed up. I don't want to live here.
um. So yeah, so I could have done it. I mean, that's my biggest disappointment in this movie is that like you carried nothing from the first one, it had all the momentum in the world, and then just like you know what? Let's make a musical. I know everybody's calling it musical. I wouldn't consider it musical. I would just consider a movie with music. But the fact that somebody looked at it and was like, we need more music, more. They need to sing their feelings, more music. Yeah, it just did not do it because every time you're like, all right, cool. Like that piece, he found somebody to love, and now he's singing about her. Cool. And by the time you're like done with like one song, back into it. It's like, all right, now what are we gonna do? Who are we gonna kill? What's gonna happen? Right? Here comes another song. And you're like, all right, well, I gotta wait for this one to be over. It is over. And you're like, all right, cool. Who are we gonna kill? What's gonna happen in this trial? Oh, here comes another song. Like it's just
Hmm.
goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm not surprised people walked out. Um, but yeah,
Well,
but that's
I don't know. And again, I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's fair as us as moviegoers to do that.
Do what?
Like, I was in the same boat where I was like, where is,
the
where is
footage.
the next, like, you know, turn? Where is the next awe moment? Where is the next, like, I am anticipating it and I'm waiting, and it just never came until the very end when the courtroom exploded. I was like, yes, that's what I was waiting for. A turn of a corner, an outburst that came nowhere, right? Like something, but it just never came. Um, and what I'm trying to get is like how fair is it as us as audience members to take away, like, take away from those expectations and just enjoy the movie for this movie. Like, granted, we have the first one to kind of, expect, but it's not supposed to be the same. At least I don't think it's fair, right, for us to expect more of the same or expect some of the stuff if that's not what the movie is intended to be. Um, because then we're just like, okay, well, we didn't get any of that. It's like, yeah, but you weren't supposed to be getting any of that. And again, some of the onus is on the production and marketing and stuff like that because you didn't prepare us for that. You prepared us for more of what we saw in the first one. So that has, I mean, as an audience member, we have some.
I
As an audience member, we
mean,
have
Don't
some.
blame
I
yourself,
feel
Eddie,
like
for this movie. This
yeah.
movie's bad. Don't blame
No, well,
yourself.
I just meant like even
I
for
feel like
horror
it's like
films, right?
5% what you're talking about in terms of the audience, and then like 95%
No, 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 yeah,
No,
no, no, no. Don't get me
it's
like
wrong.
not
I mean,
you.
a lot of it's onus on
Hollywood,
that.
like
But like
director, like
even with like horror films, right? Like we're expecting jump scares, we're expecting these things, but sometimes horror movies and stuff like that don't have that, and because we're already conditioned or expect that, we automatically be like, well, I'm done with this movie, like I'll leave, or like I'm not gonna give it its just due when you're not supposed to do that. Like I'm not saying it's completely equal or anything. I was like, no, I will I they stepped in it. The production, Warner Brothers, they just fumbled this entirely. Um, I just don't want I just don't want us to, right, to be like, well, you know, we gave up. um because we didn't give it a just I mean, like Charlie, I've never actually walked out of a movie. Like I've never had it in me to walk out of a movie. As bad as a movie is, I've never actually gotten up from my seat and left. I
Yeah,
I I
same.
followed through. I
There's
came to see
only,
this.
I
I
think there's
paid for
only
the
one
money.
movie that I actually thought about it, and that's Mother. And just because the like that third act is just insane, and that like I was already not having a good time with that movie, and then when that happened, I was like, get me out of here. But I
I
stuck
mean,
with it.
there are people who are gone. Like, what was that movie, Chris, that you went to go see, where it was just two Sasquatches getting it on?
Yeah, Sasquatch Sunset.
Yeah,
Like
Sasquatch Sunset. I
literally,
mean,
like 2 minutes into the movie or something. Like,
People walking out, right? Just like, nope, not doing it. And then we have other people who are like in the middle of an important dialogue. It's like, you know what? I'm just tired. I'm leaving. And even people like the people left right before the court scene. It's like, okay, that's closer to the
damn,
end, right? But
that's.
at
I mean,
that,
that's still like you sat through like an hour of this movie
yeah,
already.
but you don't even know how much is left or what's going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I've just never been one of the persons to be able to get up and leave. Like, I'm gonna push it through, but not everybody can't do that. And I'm just like, okay, give give it to the end because at the end, I don't know. Like, can we like for me, the Marvel movies towards the end before Infinity War, I could have skipped the entire movie. I could have just watched the after credits scene. But I thugged it out the entire movie to see the end credits scene. Right? Like, do you all think that the ending of this movie is worth watching the entirety of this movie?
I
I
mean,
don't think
for
this
me,
movie's
no. And
worth
they're not going to
to
continue
watch
this.
any of it at all.
But I guess what I'm saying,
Ending included.
like for people who get out of a movie in the middle of it or whatever it is, do you think there would be a scene or there would be something that would that would redeem the movie at the end of the movie had you just stuck it out?
This movie, no. Like
Okay.
the reveal
No.
that he's not actually the Joker, and then another character is essentially taking up the Joker title and then cutting his mouth, like Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, fuck you. Don't do that. That feels
Fuck
so
you.
shitty. Like Heath Ledger Joker is such a great Joker. And just to like do like a throwaway thing just to like I don't know what he was thinking, like just to like, hey, you guys know the Joker has scars on his face. Let's do it in this movie. Like that just
Yeah.
seems
Do
gross.
you
Just a
think
cameo for not even cameo
Yeah,
because I'm not going to consider it Heath Ledger's cameo, but like cameo for cameo's sake. Like
exactly.
every other movie we've kind of kind of included.
do you
Um,
think that the end of this Joker is the beginning of Heath Ledger's Joker?
no,
I don't know. No. I mean,
not at
plus
all.
isn't Batman like 10 years old in this movie, in this movies?
Oh, I have no
Yeah, because it
idea.
wasn't it like yeah, because the first one they showed like somebody the Waynes died in
Yeah,
the
as is
background of
tradition, you have to kill the
yeah.
Waynes.
I mean, no, you don't have to. This
Yeah,
isn't a Joker
yeah.
film.
Yeah, Batman's like one, not one, 10.
Yeah, he's super young.
Yeah. And no, it's not a prequel to the Heath Ledger ones. Um, just because in The Dark Knight he always switches up the story on how he got the scars. So
Yeah. So that we don't actually have a foundation of how he
yeah.
started.
And
So
I mean
can
that
this
was
be the
Yeah,
part of it, right?
foundation of it?
You're not really supposed to know his background.
Oh,
exactly.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you accept that mantle of the
You're
Joker,
not gonna
but you
explain
don't
it
accept
away.
this mantle of the Joker. Okay. All right. I
I
see where your
mean, that
allegiance
Joker,
and
he's scheming. He did like the boat thing. He's going around. He has different plans. This Joker kills some people and wears clown makeup. That's not really a Joker, in my opinion. He needs to have that like the schemingness or like the planning to do evil deeds. Like even killing Murray, I feel like that was like spur of the moment thing and not really a plan. He didn't plan to do that. So
yeah, I
not
don't.
my
Yeah,
Joker.
not my not my
Not
Joker,
my
but
Joker.
somebody's Joker, but not my Joker.
Yeah.
It's Eddie's Joker.
You know what? That's fun. Anything else you guys have to say?
It's the idea of
No,
Joker. No, no, sorry.
no.
All right.
No more
Let's
thoughts.
let's get into our ratings. Would you see in theaters and I mean, there won't be a sequel, but do you want a sequel with the new Joker and Harvey Dent, scarred face?
There won't be a sequel.
This movie bombed critically and like money wise. I don't think so. And do you want a
Really? I mean,
sequel?
it's really that bad. It's really that bad.
Yeah. All right, Eddie, start us off.
All right. Well, everything that was given, and then my own, I guess, on the fly trying to see stuff. I don't know. I give this I give this 2.5 Garys out of 5. Um, Gary really saved the ending of this, man. I totally had forgotten that whole situation, but he brings it home. He brings it home with the interaction, the dialogue, and you really feel it. So, performance there, top notch all the way till the end. Um, and Gary, in case you all forget, was the little person in the first one who couldn't open the door in the first one. Thought he was gonna die. Um, but yeah, I could have gone away without having a whole movie recap the first movie. It just felt weird. Um, and yeah, if you're a fan of just songs in movies, songs that you know, yeah, go ahead. I mean, go ahead, go knock yourself out. Um, but it's the 2 hour, 2 plus 2 20 hour runtime. It's not worth it. I would not recommend you go see it in movie theaters. There is no spectacle that you're missing. Just if you want to watch it at home. Um, and I don't know. I don't know about a sequel. I don't know of I don't know. I don't know. I would just want to say, you know, we'll see. It's up in the air. We'll see. Um, Charlie, what about you?
Um, I don't usually go this low for movies, but I think this just expresses my disappointment. Um, um, the rating I'm gonna give this just expresses my disappointment in this movie. So I'm gonna give this one car bomb out of 5. This movie was bombed itself, basically. So, uh, don't go watch it in theaters. You're gonna come out not feeling good and in a bad way, not like how you felt when you saw Joker 1. It's gonna be bad feeling. Um, like we said, people walked out. Um, so I'm just saving you 2.5 hours. Because I sat there for 2.5 hours and watched this movie. As far as the sequel goes, no, I think you tried, took a shot. I don't think it worked out. I don't know why this is the shot you decided to shoot, but um, I don't think Joker 3 is coming, especially after the end. Like what's gonna happen now? It's gonna be like a Joker reboot on the other guy. Um, or what? I don't know. I just don't see it happening. What about you, Chris?
I'm gonna give this one is the loneliest number out of five.
Hey,
And yeah, I did not like this movie at all. Like we said, like it's just I mean, not like in the first movie is already like puts uh, like me not really like not I guess my expectations were already low going into this coming out of that first movie just because like definitely was like shot well the first one, but everything else wasn't for me in that one. But this one just kind of doing more of those characters and didn't really work. And like especially the courtroom scenes where it's like, hey, remember the first movie? Here we go, we're doing it again. Essentially, like, and yeah, Lady Gaga was all right. Like she was singing it and nothing nothing much for her character. Like she was just using Joker for her own gain, looked like. And yeah. I would say I saw this in Dolby for a movie that was like a lot of singing, it didn't really use Dolby that extensively. Maybe like the bomb scene at the end, but other than that, not really. And so I would say wait, it'll probably be on Max next month, just like how it's going right now. But yeah, and for a sequel, I don't know. You can do Two-Face. He's there now. You know, he got scarred. And yeah, I don't want a sequel. I mean, I didn't want this one, but yeah, here we go. Um, Maybe that one will be Broadway play, you know, like the movie didn't work, but the play, yeah.
The play will definitely work.
I just want to shout out two actors that were like from Industry, the show on HBO. Harry Lottie and Ken Long were in this, and they had a scene together, which was like a cool like, oh hey, I know those actors. So I guess good for them for being other things, even if it is Joker, Folie to do.
What show is that?
The Industry, it's about
Oh,
like stock markets in London.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. Yeah, so were there any songs you wanted Walking Phoenix to sing? You can email us at straight2pod@gmail.com or let us know on Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube and Twitch at Straight to POD. And that concludes this week's episode of Straight to POD.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Eddie.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Na 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 Joker, Joker.